Pam Goodwin is an omnicompetent, multi-dimensional person whose motto is find a way. When it comes to business, Pam is in a league of her own. She is the founder and CEO of Goodwin Commercial, an award-winning real estate firm based in Dallas, Texas. She is also a #1 best-selling author whose books inspire others in the real estate industry on how to win in commercial real estate. But more importantly, she donates her spare time to philanthropic organizations dedicated to making the world a better place. Please help me welcome my friend and inspiration, Pam Goodwin. Pam, thank you for being a guest on my show today. It is such an honor to have you here.
Well, howdy from Texas. It's always good to see you, friend.
Yeah, it is. Well, howdy from Tennessee. So, as I mentioned earlier in the intro, you are a lady who wears many hats. You are a wonderful philanthropist who donates your time and energy to a lot of great causes. You're on the board of many major businesses. For example, you're the vice chairman of your city's zoning board of adjustments. You're a member of and a contributor for Forbes Real Estate Council, among many other organizations. And even with all of that, as I said, you still find time to do things for others who need help. So how do you find time to do everything you do? I know we all have 24 hours in a day, but it seems like you might have 36.
I have to be well organized, and I am proud to say I am now the chairwoman for our zoning board of adjustment, a recent promotion. So I'm excited about that, giving back. But it's a lot. I try to do a lot because, living my best life and now at the stage of giving back. But I do have to be well organized. The first thing I do every morning is write down my #1 goal for the day, and then everything after that to follow. But I fully believe by a vision board and putting those items in priority.
Oh, that's really smart. At my job I had recently, I've since left that job. Every single morning during group therapy, I had my patients to say their name, like individually, and tell their goal for the day. And some of them didn't want to do it. And I'm like, it is so important to have a goal, even if you just have one, even if it's just to say, today I want to smile more, or today I want to drink more water. Just to have a goal is really important, because I told him, I said, what if I come to work and, I have all these things to do and I don't write any of it down? I'm less likely to get anything done. But if we have it in front of us and we can see it, we're more likely to actually do it and check it off and then feel that sense of accomplishment. So I really like that you have a goal each day.
Yeah, I have to do that. And I have one major goal for the year that every year I look at that. I used to, how people used to do 1, 5, 10-year goals. Now I really do 1-year goals and focus on that #1 main goal, and then do something every day towards that #1 goal to keep me, accountable and to keep on track.
Yeah, those are good. I know you have a life coach, and I'm sure she's told you about the SMART goals, how it's specific, measurable, achievable, and all of that. So I need to take some lessons from you. I can preach it to others, but I really don't do it myself. So, but not only do you do your philanthropic work, but as I mentioned earlier in the intro, you're also an author who focuses on helping others succeed in the real estate world, especially women. Tell me why it's important for you to really want to help women.
I just feel, when I talk to a lot of women, it seems like the #1 thing that, always comes up is the lack of confidence, and sometimes support, and then getting capital for their business. So I, wrote 3 books now, just finished published the best-selling one in April that went out with 20 other women in commercial real estate. But I feel like it's a way of giving back, because I do get asked, how do you get into commercial real estate? It's still maybe only 34% of the industry are women in our business, in our industry. And it's one of the best industries that, you can get into. So I thought why not write a book with some of the top in the industry, and so that people, can know their story. I mean, people, I think, are surprised when they hear my background. My degree is in interior design. So they're like, how did you go from interior design to selling and developing multi-million-dollar commercial real estate properties? So I wanted just to put out some books, that people would be able to read other women's story.
Yeah, that I'm glad you did because Pam, a lot of times we feel alone in life. We feel like, well, how am I going to get from here where I am to where I want to be? But if we hear somebody's story like yours, who you had a completely different degree, interior design, and now you're like a major player, in my opinion, in the commercial real estate world in Dallas, Texas, and probably, surrounding counties down there. And so it's really important to put your story out there and to help lead other people, because if we don't have somebody who's been there and we can use them as our example, then how are we supposed to get ahead? So I'm really happy that you love helping everybody, but especially women, because like you said, it's still a male dominated field, unfortunately.
And a lot of women are making substantial amount of money. And I get asked quite frequently, Pam, I have extra money, or I found a deal. How can we invest in commercial real estate? And so I really, really like helping them, everybody build financial freedom, they call it, or, wealth for future. And I really, really, like helping women. I mean, even I was on a panel today, and the number one thing you have to do is just ask. Go, if you're, working at a corporate job, like in commercial real estate, a lot of those guys, men in the office are all investing together. And so if you're a woman, go out there to your company and ask them, how can you invest in real estate, or how can you be more, in business? And what I've learned recently in the last couple of years, the biggest thing that I'm really doing is collaborating with other women. Because I used to think a lot smaller, and then when you collaborate with, the right woman, it can really launch your career or whatever you want to do.
Yeah, it really can. You know what? No, I mean, we've all heard the saying, no man is an island, so no woman is either. We need each other. So I want to talk a bit about how we met and actually how it's related to this interview today. So share with the viewers how we know each other.
Well, we have one thing in common, which we both probably agreed that we would not want in common, but I believe everything happens for a reason. But we were both on a Facebook group because we were both diagnosed with breast cancer around the same time. Even though we have two different types, I'm positive, and you're triple negative. But we met on that, and then we just connected, reached out through Facebook, and then you came out to Dallas, and then the rest is history.
Yeah, it's really
Herstory.
yeah, nursery. I like that. It's really amazing how an unfortunate event like breast cancer brought us together and we became friends. We really bonded over that. And I mean, we've talked about that before, even on your show, the Pam Goodwin show. We bonded over that, and I always say it's a club that nobody wants to be a part of, but if you're unfortunate enough to be a part of it, good things really can come out of it. And our friendship, I'm really blessed with our friendship, and blessed to know you, know your family, your mom, your sister, and I'm just really blessed. So that was a good thing that come out of it. So that's a
I
great.
know, I think I always liked how you called us we're probably about as opposites possibly as could be, but you call me the city mouse and you're the
Country
country.
mouse. Yeah, I say city mouse, country mouse. Yeah. So you need to get up here. We need to go out and do a show, or I need to come down there and we can go do your show. But we need to do things like city and countries, polar opposites, but really good friends.
Yes,
So
love it.
yeah. So that's a great segue in what I want to talk about next. There's a huge, and I mean huge, event that you co-host in Nashville every October. Tell our viewers, I mean, everything there is to know about that: where, when, why, how, who. Just lay it all out for us.
Well, thanks. I know after being diagnosed, wanted to find some way of giving back to breast cancer. There's some amazing organizations, and then, the type of breast cancer I have, without the research, with a drug immunotherapy that came out called Herceptin. Women, like me, did not have a good chance of recovery or surviving. And so back in 2021, I reached out to this new person I had met in Nashville. I had seen her, one of her interviews, and she owned a women's subscription company, and decided I needed to go out to Nashville and meet her, and thought, how about giving 10% of, what you make to a breast cancer organization? Well, that small conversation of small thinking, that's what I'm talking about, collaborating with the right people. Tara Joseph with the Joseph Family Foundation in Nashville had an idea of, why don't we get some of our country singers and have a benefit? And then that led into our first year of having Dolly Parton as our headliner and raising $167,000 to Susan G. Komen. We had it last year, and this will be our third annual year that we will be having it at the Mule House on October 1st with the one and only Delta Dawn Tanya Tucker.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I love her. My son loved her when he was little. He doesn't like country music now, but that was probably his first celebrity crush when it was a toddler. He made my grandpa play her music over and over on CMT. But as you said, Dolly Parton was your first headliner. I mean, how in the world? Tell me how in the world you got the Queen of Country to headline a brand new event. Like, I could see if your 10th annual or even your 5th annual, but how in the world did you get Dolly Parton to headline your first annual?
Well, it started with, a connection of Amy on our committee, who was working with a couple songwriters that came out with the song Pink, all about breast cancer. And Dolly Parton and 4 other artists sang that song. So we had a mutual connection, with Susan G. Komen and with Dolly Parton. And she was going to, sing one song. And she ended up doing 17 songs at our event. And that was the first time I think she said that she had performed in 5 years, because she no longer does, concerts. So we started with the best in the business, the queen of country, and that's how I am with everything in business. Go big, go big or go home.
I like that.
A lot of times they always tell, even in commercial real estate, to start off small. Buy a house, or start off small, and now I tell people it's the same process if you start off small, practically, as if you start with big. So why not go for Dolly Parton? And we're forever grateful for her generosity, and she continues to donate items for us to raise a lot of money for our gala.
Listen, she's such a kind, caring person. I mean, I've talked practically every show that I've had now. I've said something about her, or a guest has, and she is such a kind, caring person. And for her to do that really probably was the name you needed to be attached to the event to give it the what's it called, the legitimacy it needed, really.
Right.
Because and I like the way you said go big or go home, because my motto is dream big. Listen, if I'm going to dream, I'm going to dream big. And I always tell people, I would rather dream big and get 50% of it than dream little and get 100, or dream like nothing and get 100%. So, yeah, so I'm really glad that that she set it off for you, set the wheels in motion. And to have Tanya Tucker this year, last year you had Low Cash, is that correct?
Correct. They were amazing. They really, really helped us raise a lot of money. And you're right, having Dolly and then Low Cash and now Tanya Tucker, it's nice because we made, I don't know how many articles were written, and we even made international news. So it's one of the highlights. You turn your pain into purpose, but this is one of my highlights in my life, besides, married, having 2 sons, and, having an event with Dolly Parton. So it's right up there with one of the top things in my my life.
Yeah. You know, I knew for me, like we all measure things on different scales. And for me, when I saw the article in the Huffington Post, I was like, it's legit, you know? I mean, which it was legit anyway. But when I saw it there, it's like, wow, you made the Huffington Post or whatever it's called. I think it's Huffington Post. But yeah, it was covered. I think E News covered it. You were everywhere. Maybe CBS, ABC, all of those things. So, really happy that you guys are able to, like I said, you donate your time, and that is no small task. That is no small feat. You literally probably come this October, as soon as it's over, you're going to start working on next year, 2024. Yeah. So, I mean, something of that magnitude, I'm sure, takes 365 days to plan. So,
It does. I was not even aware of what it really takes to put on a gala and an event. And I think it's all worth it because it's going to such a good cause. And hopefully we can end breast cancer as one of our, Susan G. Komen to end breast cancer. And we're all in it together because we're all affected somehow by
somehow.
both of us, to friends we know, to my grandmother, and the list goes on and on. So, the more we can collaborate and help each other, the better world will be.
Yeah, and we talk about Dolly Parton and Tanya Tucker and the dress up and all the fun, but ultimately, bottom line, it is about raising money for breast cancer research and the awareness that we need to bring to it and finding a cure for breast cancer, putting an end to this horrible disease because Pam, it seems like maybe once a week, and I'm not exaggerating. Maybe once a week, I hear about somebody that I know, somebody back home in West Virginia or Kentucky, who has been diagnosed, and they're getting younger and younger, and that's what's scary. So,
I know I just met two people reached out to me regarding our event, and the youngest that just reached out that would like to come to our event was diagnosed at 25 years old. And you're right, they're 25, 28. The other one that just reached out is in her early 30s. And so when they're, still talking about mammograms at 40, it's really going to have to be reduced to probably the age of 20
I agree.
of what's
I
happening. I'm just like, what is going on? And even though my grandmother had its mine was not by the gene, so it was more environmental, which for women, they came out with hair dye and then the gel for your fingernails and then everything else. So, it's an epidemic and just have to stop it
Yeah,
somehow.
I agree. Mine was environmental as well. Like no one on either side of my family ever had breast cancer. No one, not cousins, anybody. I was the first one in the family, and I was negative for the BRCA gene. And
Mhm.
mine was environmental as well, which we pretty much kind of narrowed it down. But anyway, so. I wanted to come the last 2 years, and I don't know why, but something always happens. I mean, I always plan to come. I put it on my calendar. Something always happens, but this year I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try really hard. And I was thinking about bringing my friend Pam Haggard because she loves Tanya Tucker, and I know she would thoroughly enjoy it. So yeah, so I'm going to have to.
Uh, you you are always welcome to come, and you have a connection,
Yeah,
so
I
you know
appreciate
where
that.
to find me.
Yeah,
We'll work it out. I'd love for you to come.
yeah. So speaking of coming, tell our viewers how they can get tickets.
We we almost sold out within the first couple of weeks. I think we're maybe down to maybe 10 seats left.
Wow.
And you can go to the Mule House, and that is who is selling it on their website
Okay.
for the
Yeah.
few
So
remaining tickets left in the balcony.
well,
But we're
listen.
excited. We've relocated the place. The first couple of years we had it at the Country Music Hall of Fame, and this year we relocated it to beautiful place in the Mule House where Amy Fish, who's on our committee, is the concert event planner now at the Mule House. They converted an old Baptist church into
Oh,
one of the most beautiful venues. So we're looking forward to that. What we also are looking for sponsors, and we have VIP meet and greet for up to 20 people. So if you're looking to
wow.
be a sponsor, reach out. It's a great
Yeah.
opportunity.
Good idea. Yeah, we'll put my producer Adam. He'll put all of the information. He'll link it on the screen at the end of the show. But I'm glad. I'm glad that you only have 10 seats left. That's pretty fantastic. So congratulations on that. And I'm sure they'll be gone in no time. So um, I want to ask you one thing that I don't know if you're aware of or not. You had a reel. You did a little video with Dolly Parton. You sang probably her most famous song, Jolene, next to her, with her. First of all, were you scared to death? My knees would be knocking, I would be shaking. And second of all, did you know that that reel went viral? It has, I think, over 500,000 views on that thing.
I, you know, I'm still blown away by it, and I had no idea it had that many views until you sent it to me on her fan page. And but I had an unbelievable opportunity to meet her really early on a Saturday morning when I was in Nashville. She was working on a recording and to do some videos for our upcoming event. And ever since I was probably 8 years old, I loved the song Jolene. And it was so spontaneous. I was like, would you sing Jolene with me? I mean, everybody sings Jolene with her. And I really think she thought I was a good singer. And you can tell by the video that she's like, I'll take it from here. But I was on cloud nine. I still am. We had so much fun.
Yeah.
She was just great.
Yeah, I thought it was great. Listen, I thought you did a fantastic job. I mean, I always, I worked at Dollywood for 2 seasons, and people would come in, and of course, back then I was, blonde, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, you look like Dolly Parton. Are you related?" And I would always say no, and they would say, "Can you sing?" And I'm like, I can't, but that doesn't mean I won't. so, so I see that you're the same way. But I thought you did a
Yeah,
great
do
job.
not pass up that opportunity. I just, if you have an opportunity to do something spontaneous like that, don't overthink it. Just ask, and they'll say yes or no. And it was funny, but I had no idea it would go viral.
Yeah, it did. I mean, it's hard to tell how many views are on there because it was a couple weeks ago. I think I saw that it was over 500,000. So, but I wonder if she knows that. You need to try to get a hold of her and say, "Hey, Dolly, let's do another duet. Let's finish the song." so, but so. I like that you have that bravery about you. That's something I have as well. And I know that your motto, before I end the show, your motto is find a way. So tell me, how in the world did that become your motto? Find a way. I love that.
Just, I think if you want something bad enough, you just find a way, to make it happen and not to give up on that. And so my two mottos are find a way and never give up. And now I've added a third one, hashtag living your best life, and those three. But just find a way, make that extra phone call, send a letter, send a video, do something different, and just find a way to get whatever, someone's attention. And if you keep finding a way, you will find a way. It will happen.
Yeah. I love that. And I do see on your posts you do hashtag is it living my best life? And you
Hmm.
actually are, Pam. And after something like breast cancer happens or any really traumatic event or life altering event like that, I think that my hope would be that people would go out and live their best life after that. I know that I am. Right now, I'm living my best life. And I hate to think it took something like breast cancer to do that, but hey, at least it opened my eyes. And I try to find a way to make things happen as well. And you've been a huge inspiration to me for doing that. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. I know it changes before being diagnosed. I was coasting, everything was good, but now I do not, the only thing we have is our time, and I don't give it away, and I don't waste it. And if I want to take that trip, and I want to take that 2-week trip or whatever, I mean, I have the leisure with my business that I can work from anywhere, which is a nice advantage, but I'm not putting it off till next year,
Yeah.
all of that kind of stuff. If
Yeah.
I'm making everything a priority big time.
Yeah, I love that. And I love what you said about time. I say that a lot too, especially to younger people if when they listen, but nobody wants to listen to an old lady. But I say that when you're in your 20s and even your early 30s, you don't realize how precious time is. When you get our age, I'll be 55 next month and you're right about my age. It's like you do, and especially after cancer, you do realize the just the how precious a moment is, a day. It's just really precious. So, but Pam, I want to thank you so much for coming on today and talking about your big event, Kiss Breast Cancer Goodbye. Happens every October, and like I said, we'll link all of your information on the screen at the end if people want to get tickets or if they want to be a sponsor, if they want to do the VIP. Did you say that's 20 or more people in a group can do it, or?
Well, no, that we're able to do a meet and greet
I
up to
mean,
20 people.
oh,
So
up to.
if you're a
Okay.
sponsor for a certain donation, you're able to go backstage after the concert and meet her. And then if you're a breast cancer survivor, warrior, we do have, comp tickets for people that have gone through breast cancer
Oh,
and be able to bring someone.
oh, Pam, that is so good. See, you just have such a big giving heart. You're such an inspiration to me. You really are, and I'm so blessed to know you. And I'm gonna try not to start crying. So, but anyway, thank you for coming on today. I appreciate it. And we both wore pink to, for breast cancer. So, but I've enjoyed having you, and I hope that you'll come back.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always great to see you, and congratulations on your show and
Thank you.
being able, to have a big voice out there for people. Thank you.
Thank you. So, and thank all of you all for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed Pam and all the things that she does. And tune in next week for another exciting guest. And remember to always dream big because big dreams do come true.